Hello everyone, welcome back to part 2 of colors in CSS. That's day 34. We are still in day 34. In part 1, we learned how to apply colors using named colors and hex colors. We also gave our website a cleaner and more professional appearance. In this lesson, we'll continue by learning 3 more colors formats. That's the RGB colors, the RGBA colors, then the HSL colors. These color formats are widely used in modern websites or web development because they give developers greater flexibility and control over color. Let's continue. Now we are continuing from method 3. That's what the RGB. The previous one we did what the hex and the named colors. So here that's what that's what method 3. That's the RGB colors. So you will see something like this. RGB. Yeah. So the RGB stands for red, green, and blue. The R simply means red, and then J simply means green. The B also means what? Blue. Yeah. So every color is created by mixing what different amount of these 3 colors. Each value ranges from 0 to 255. Each value ranges from 0 to 255. So you can have the general syntax like this. So here, so we have something like color. So color. So color, then that's what RGB. So let's say RGB. RGB. So here the RGB here. The first one is what? So the first one is red. Then the second one is what? The second one is green, and the third one is what? Blue. Here. All right. So for example, we can have something like this. So let's say heading 1. We want to start our heading 1. Let's say we want to start our heading 1 here. So we want to start our heading 1. So H1, then the bridge. Here. So we have what color is called. So color, then RGB. So RGB. Here. So here the RGB. Let's say we have 10, 1 and the 2, and then what? 1 and then what? 94. Here. So this produces what? A beautiful blue color that is very similar to what? Our previous hex color. Here. All right. So the reason why to produce the blue is because blue is what the highest here. You get it? All right. Now let's understand something here. So let's understand the RGB values, what I just mentioned here. So let's look at a few examples. So here I'm going to include a few examples here again. So let me delete this one from here. I want to declare this one from here. So color, then that's what RGB. So RGB. Then let's say 255. So 255. I said ranges from 0 to what? 255. And so this one produces what? Red. It produces what? Red, because red is what the highest here. You get it? Right. We also have something like this. So where the green. So I'll copy this one. I don't need to type. So this one here. So here. So this one. So let me say this is 0. Then here's what? 255. So this one produces what? Color green. Then you can also have this one too. This one also produces what? Color blue. Do you get it? All right. Then we can also have something like this. So color, then 255 throughout. So 255 for throughout. So this one produces what? Color white. It produces what? Color white. Where sometimes we can have 0 throughout. So color, then 0 throughout. This one produces what? Black. It produces what? Black. Okay. So now let's apply RGB to our portfolio here. So, or our website, the website that we built. So where is it? So let's look for H1. So the H1. Let me clear this one from here. Okay, let me leave it like that. So H1. So here you are going to replace this by what? This one, the hex color here by what? RGB. Here. So the same color. So RGB then here. So you have something like 10, 102, then 194. Here. All right. So when you save and you refresh your browser, you notice that the heading color remains almost exactly the same. There's nothing will change. Nothing will change at all. Nothing will change. It's still the same thing. Then this shows that different color formats can produce what? The same result. Now let's go to method 4. Method 4, that's the RGBA. So the RGBA. So we have what? RGBA. So if the RGB stands for red, green, blue, what will be the RGA? Or what is the RGBA? What is it? Or what is the A in the RGBA? If you say alpha, that's correct. So the extra A stands for alpha. Alpha controls what? Transparency. So general syntax. We can have general syntax. We have something like this. So we have RGBA. So RGBA. Then so this one is what? Red. Then we have what? Red. So let me clear this one from here. This one is not good. So All right. So now you can see by yourself. So this one here, you can see by yourself here. So you know that the R is what? Red, and the J is what? Green, B is what? Blue, and the A is what? Alpha. So the alpha here, we can have some. So the alpha values ranges from, or value ranges from 0 to what? 1. It ranges from 0 to 1. Unlike the red and the red, green, and blue. So the red, green, and blue is what? Ranges from 0 to what? 1 to 255. Whilst alpha ranges from 0 to what? 1. Where 0 is what? Completely transparent, and 1 is what? Completely visible. Are you here? All right. So here we are going to apply our RGBA, or we are going to apply RGBA to our navigation. So here, so let me connect this one from here and locate our what? Our RGB, sorry, our navigation bar in the CSS file. So our navigation bar, so this one here. So here, so clear down from there. Then we introduce what? The RGBA. Are you here? So that, sorry. Yeah, so background color. So that's the navigation. So background color. So let me use this one as background color. So background color, and let's say the RGBA. So RGBA. Then we have what? Let's say 0, 0, 0, then 0.9. Let's say that way. Yeah. So say 0, 0, then sorry. So 0, 0, then 0.9. So let's say this is what? 9. Yeah. So now save your browser. Sorry, save your file and refresh your browser. The navigation now has what? A slightly transparent what? Appearance. So here, if you open, you see that it has what? The transparent what? Appearance. So here, we'll change it. We'll change it back. We'll change it back to our normal styling. So the color. So let's say the color should be equal to white. So color white. Okay, so now let's open it. So refresh. Okay, so let's remove the background from there and name this part what? Color. So just color. That's the test for color. Then here, let's remove this one from here. So this one from here. All right. So if you open, you should see something like this. We can make this one to big and other things. So we'll learn everything step by step. We don't need to rush. All right. Now let's look at this real life example. So imagine wearing sunglasses. You can still see through them, but everything becomes slightly darker. RGBA works the same way. So it allows colors to become transparent while still remaining visible. Now let's go to the method 5. That's the HSL. And I think this is the last part of the day. So HSL colors. The HSL stands for, who can tell me? So you can pause the video and tell yourself what the answer is. So if you say hue, saturation, then lightning, then you are correct. Then I think you are learning. You are going far, and that's good. Continue the good job. So here, this is a general syntax. This is a general syntax for it. So we have the what? HSL. So HSL. So HSL. Then we have hue. So sorry. So hue. Then this. Yeah. So let me clean the percentage from there. Let me clean this percentage too from there. And here. So here we can have something like this. So we have color. So here the color is equal to what? HSL. Here the color is equal to what? So the color, the colon, then we have what? HSL. So let's try to make. So let me make this one 90%. Or you can leave the 100 like that. And here let's say 40%. 40. All right. So now let's understand the HSL. HSL. The hue represents the color itself. The hue represents what? The color itself. So this particular one here represents what? The color itself. All right. Then so the color itself, example can be 0 is equal to what? Red. 120 is equal to what? Green. Then 240 can be equal to what? Blue. So 240 is equal to what? Blue. You get it? So if you include 0 here, that's what? 0 here, that's what? So here, this part, that's red. If you include 120, that's what? Green. If you include 240, that's what? Blue. If you can't keep this in mind, there's no need. You can search for HTML HSL code and it will give it to you. Or CSS, and it will give it to you. All right. Then let's take the saturation. The saturation controls how rich the color is. So 100%, for example, when you take 100%, 100% simply means full color. 0% means gray. So if you have 0%, it means what? Gray. If you have 100%, it means what? Full color. Then we have the lightness too. The lightness that controls what? Brightness. When you have 0%, simply means black. When you have 50%, it's the normal color. If you have 100%, that's what? White. So let's apply our HSL. The HSL to. Alright. So we are going to apply our HSL here. So let's start our heading 2. We are going to start our heading 2. So let's see if I have heading 2 here. So here, heading 2. So let me start. I'm going to start with my heading 2. So So heading 2, that's H2. I'm going to start the heading 2 here. So here I will include what? I'll include the HSL, so that's the color. So here, let me clean this one. So let me clean the color. So the color here should be equal to what? The hue. So that's what. Sorry, that's a hue HSL. Then here, so let's make this one what? 90. Let's make here 90. So 90. Then we make here, let's say 35. Let's make here for 35. So 35. Let's make here what? 35. Do you get it? All right. Then let's say margin bottom. Margin bottom is equal to 15 pixels. Let's say 15 pixels. So the margin bottom is equal to 15 pixels. And the test alignment, let's say align the test align, let's say center. So let's go to our page. So now you can see it. So this one here, this one here, this one also here, this one here as well. Do you get it? Now if you go to the about page 2, sorry, about page, there's nothing like that. So here too, you see the same thing here. Here. All right. So now let's creating a professional color palette. So professional websites usually use only a few colors, as I already said in the part 1. For our website, we will use the primary color, as we already know, then the secondary color, the background color, then the text color, and then the white color. We'll continue using these colors throughout the CSS model. This keeps our design clean and consistent. Yeah, let's take some real life example. Think about your favorite website, whether it is YouTube, Facebook, or LinkedIn. They don't use dozens of random colors. Instead, they use a consistent color palette across every page. This helps users to recognize the brand and makes the website look professional. Now, keep this in mind. Choose your website colors before you start designing. You have to choose your website colors before you start designing. I mean, the reason why I'm choosing blue is because blue is my favorite color. Yes, that's the reason. That's the reason why I chose that. But in case you have something, so. Sorry. Using the same colors throughout your project creates a professional appearance and makes future styling much easier. Now let's look at some common mistakes you make. Now, mistake 1, using random colors everywhere. No, choose a consistent color palette. Mistake 2, using colors with poor contrast. For example, light gray text on a white background is difficult to read. Always make sure your text is easy to see. Then mistake 3, confusing the RGB with RGBA. Know the difference. Remember, the RGB has 3 values, while the RGBA has 4 values because it includes transparency. Mistake 4, using very bright colors on every section. Bright colors are best used to highlight important parts of your website, not everything. So here you are going to create a mini problem here, a mini challenge. Open your project's website or your projects. Complete the following tasks. Change your main heading using RGB. Change your navigation background using RGBA. Change all heading 2 using HSL. Create your own 4 color palettes for the website. So you have 4 color palettes for your website. Save your work. Refresh your browser. Observe how the colors improve the appearance of your portfolio. Today we learn named colors, hex colors, RGB colors, RGBA colors, HSL colors, how to choose a professional color palettes. Excellent work. Today you have learned 5 different ways of applying colors in CSS. You also began creating a consistent color scheme for your website, making it look more modern and professional. As we continue this CSS model, we'll keep improving the same website until it becomes fully responsive and ready for deployment. In day 35, we will learn about background colors and background images. We will create a modern hero section, work with background properties such as repeat, position, size, and attachment, and continue transforming our website into a beautiful professional website. Thank you for joining day 34 of 100 Days of Coding with Derrick-Redeemer. Keep learning, keep practicing, and keep coding. I'll see you in day 35.